All right, Dave Mascatello, how are you doing?
Doing well.
We're good.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Right now we're at Green Fair in Herndon, Virginia. And Dave, you've been selling your fruits and vegetables and all this good stuff. You got herbs, you got a lot of different things. What inspired you to grow your own food?
Grow my own food. Well, first it was just a connection with the food and the herbs. When I was in college, I worked for a catering company doing like different events. And we were out there like at the college campus at Mary Washington, and there was like these sage plants. And I ate the sage, and I was just blown away by how good it tasted, and I could feel, my third eye opening, and spiritually I was just alive, just being connected with the herbs, the land, the plants, just natural medicine, and I started growing just culinary herbs to like start adding to food and stuff, and over time started getting heirloom tomatoes. I didn't realize there were so many types of tomatoes. There's blue and purple and black tomatoes and yellow and orange and green. There's so many different colors of the spectrum, so many different varieties. And I worked in Safeway for 4 years, mostly in produce, but all the departments, and I learned how to cook there, and started playing around with all these different fruits and vegetables, and just fascinated by all the things just I didn't really know were there growing up as a kid. I liked peaches and watermelon and stuff as a kid, but I didn't realize there was all these different varieties of stone fruits and apples and berries, and just it was just blowing my mind, just the diversity that was out there, and I just tuned into it. And especially when you grow your own and you pick it right off the plant, you just realize how good it tastes. The grocery store tomatoes, a lot of them are just picked unripe, and they use chemicals to ripen them, and so that's why they don't taste good. But when you grow your own, you just go and you pick it, right off the plant, and you just take a bite of it. It's so fresh and ripe, and it has all the enzymes, and it's just a peak ripeness and peak nutrition, and you feel your best. And so the more you eat this kind of food, the more motivated you get, and energized and inspired, and you just feel good. So that's what I want, and for my own healing, really.
That's awesome. So it just keeps you going. Like every time you eat it, every time you take it in, you just feel motivated just to continue to plant more and plant more. And you've planted so much. You started off, like, what did you start off with, and then where are you right now?
Yeah, so I started off just doing the heirloom tomatoes, like in pots, like on a patio, with a couple fig trees and blueberry bushes. And then when my mom bought her property out in Hillsboro, I brought those over there and started a little vegetable garden, and slowly over time, started with a 20 by 20 plot, just small the first season. Second season started putting in a couple fruit trees, some apples, peaches, pears, things like that, and figs. And just over time, just started planting more and more and more. Nice. During COVID, my music business was shut down, so I had a lot of time on my hands, and I was bringing a lot of food to people because people didn't even want to leave their house. So I was bringing boxes of produce. I'd have like 15 or 20 customers lined up, and I'd pack my car and even my van. I had a van at the time, and go do deliveries to people's homes, and it really took off. That's when I built my greenhouse, my first one, the geothermal. I was able to get a loan, through the SBA, and had this vision for the geothermal, and had all this time on my hands. So, and I just love it, being out there in nature and connected. And really my goal was to grow food for myself, my family, and my friends, and just share it with people. that's what I love doing. And the farm, the business was just kind of something to help make it sustainable and make sense for the long term. Because I just spend all my money on it. I'd rather have plants than money.
Yeah.
It's just so fun to have all these varieties. We grow 700 varieties of edibles and medicinals, and there's always something ripening all throughout the year. Year round we have fresh fruit, so it's a blessing.
Okay, and so right now, how many acres do you have?
Yeah, so I have 5 acres, and my mom has 5 acres next door, and I manage both properties, and there's fruit trees everywhere.
And then what's the variety of fruit trees in general?
Yeah, so I tried to grow a lot of peaches, nectarines, apricots, plums, and cherries and stuff like that, and I've had very limited success outdoors, but now we're planting them in hoop houses to see if we can grow them organically inside, because everything's organic, right? We've had trouble with insects there, but what has grown really well without insects issues is pawpaws, persimmons. Those are both natives, and so they do really well in this climate. And then the Asian pears, they're so juicy. I might actually just have to take a little bite real quick. So juicy and sweet. They do amazing. And then you have figs, of course, which is my #1 favorite thing to grow. A lot of you out there who know me know how much I love figs. I have 150 varieties. So I would say pawpaws, persimmons, Asian pears, figs, and then the berries. We grow a lot of blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, strawberries, goomy berries, autumn olives. These are autumn olives here. They're really good. Jujubes are underrated. The apples, we have trouble with, but we're going to grow them in hoop houses. Let's see. What am I missing?
You got watermelon that you've been
Oh,
doing?
yeah. All the annuals, of course. The melons, we love growing those, and tomatoes, and peppers, and zucchini, and cucumbers, and some big old heirloom butternut squashes, and pumpkins, and ground cherries are pretty cool. Beans, okra. We grow tons and tons of okra. Peppers, different types. But yeah, we're always trying to plant new things. I mean, we're growing guavas, we're growing avocados and bananas and pineapples and a lot of tropical stuff too. The mangoes, of course, with these geothermal greenhouses. And we're really excited. Maybe we could do a video of those one day.
Yeah.
It'd be a lot of fun. Yeah, we're about to finish our 3rd greenhouse, putting in 500 feet of geotubes underground to circulate the air to make it more stable. And we may not have to use any propane or any other heat sources because of how deep it is and how much geotube is down there. So we'll see what happens.
Okay. Yeah. So it seems like it's very important for you to have organic, less to no pesticides on your food, and then doing it sustainably, not using much.
We use
stuff like
a
that.
clay, like an organic method. It's called Surround, and it's completely non-toxic. It just creates like a barrier. So we do that on like zucchinis, cucumbers, cantaloupes, and even the broccolis and stuff, and the cabbages and cauliflowers and kales, all the brassicas we're planting right now for the fall and the winter. It's good, it's good to spray. You got all these insects, and it's just clay and soap basically,
Nice.
and it works well.
Okay, nice. Any other methods that you do when it
yeah.
comes to planting, keeping the bugs out?
Yeah, I mean, just having diversity, having the food forest, having all the herbs, all the different scents, they can kind of confuse the insects a little bit, and they, instead of these monocultures, you know what I mean? And you'll have like something like cilantro, which will flower, and it'll attract these wasps that will then go and eat the cabbage worms. So nature will balance out if you have that diversity, and just having the health of the plants. You know, you have the compost and the wood chips, and they get plenty of water. The plants are going to be healthy, and they're going to have their natural defense mechanisms to fight off the insects. That was explained to me. That's a big difference between organic and conventional food. Organic's going to have much more nutrients because the soil is healthy. They focus on the soil more than the conventional. Plus, they don't spray, so you're getting a lot more there. I mean, that's how it was explained to me when I went in the Safeway. I created an organic section, and you know, they explain it all comes down to the soil. And you know, when you have that good compost and those wood chips or straw or whatever, leaves, just organic matter, you know, you don't need to water, you don't need to fertilize, you don't need to weed as much. It's like all these things become easier if you learn to just work with nature as opposed to against it.
Nice. Hey, you want some? Okay. Awesome, beautiful. Well then, and how did you learn? I know you were educated through Safeway, like the people there, but then you got your own training, you've done your own research. How did you learn all this extra stuff?
So I think I took an organic gardening class with my friend Debbie Ward, Prior Unity Gardens. Give her a shout out. And it was really fun to learn all about like planting vegetables, and more than that, like fruit trees. And she helped like do a blueprint and design. So she does designs. If you guys ever want to have a food forest design for you, we can do that. And then I also went out and just learned from the master gardeners, you know, people that have been doing it for decades and decades. Somebody like Paul Gauchi, you'll find him on YouTube, Back to Eden Gardening Method. He's the one who taught me about the wood chips and how he went out to nature in the forest and just witnessed, you know, the trees falling down, and they break down and then they turn into wood chips and then soil over time. You know, everything sort of feeds itself. It's a closed loop system. And by mimicking nature, you know, that's the best method for growing high quality food.
Nice.
You know, I ate this apple that was like this big, like best apple I ever ate. And the figs were just so phenomenal. Those Desert King figs he had. So look up like Paul Gauchi, Back to Eden Gardening Method. Then you got James Prigioni. He's on YouTube as well. He's in Jersey, and he's awesome at teaching people about growing food. You got this other guy in South Carolina. You got all these people on YouTube. You know, you can just go and find them, and including me. I do, you know, planetary awareness. I have my own YouTube channel. I wish I could do more videos. You know, thanks to Dante, maybe I'll be encouraged. But yeah, just being, you know, constantly. Oh, and Ross, the fig boss. I have to give a shout out to Ross and Big Bill and Lou and the rest of the fig mafia. Call them, you know, people that just share their wisdom about growing figs, because that's such an exciting world. You know, it was a niche market. Now it's becoming more and more popular. But like 150 varieties, they're all a little bit unique, and some of them very, very unique. You know, we have like one that tastes like chocolate, Neruccio del Elba. You know, one that tastes like honey, one that tastes like a complex berry jam, the Black Madeira. You know, there's so many different types of figs, and they're all different, like different fruits under one sort of. It's not even actually a fruit, it's a flower, believe it or not, a fig. So we could do a whole video just on fig varieties.
Okay, yeah.
There's so much to learn. and we have a database and all that stuff. You know, thanks to Ross, the Fig Boss, and all those guys as well. So YouTube is great. Going and getting farm tours is great, and just taking classes. So those are the methods that I found effective, and just hands-on experience. You can't beat it. Over time, you see what works, what doesn't, and you improve your methods. And it's all about working with the calendar too, like timing, like constantly being in the cycles of nature, of the weather patterns and the seasons. And I love it because it helps me transition my body, my consciousness, my way of life. Just is all intertwined with, you know, when we're planting things, when we're harvesting things. And it's sort of, you know, the garden is a teacher, and it's also a reflection of ourselves too. And there's so much we can learn just being out there.
Absolutely.
So for me, it's a practice, you know, going out there and seeing, observing just what's out there and what needs care or what needs attention. And even if, you know, you can't do anything in that moment besides eat some berries, you know, you can at least have the awareness of where everything is at and come back to it and just keep walking and being out there in the food forest or in the greenhouse. And I love it because I'm in the music industry, Planetary Music. I represent many musicians and entertainment folks out this way, and it's a wild business, you know, and there's a lot of calls and texts and emails and things to keep track of and computer stuff. But then going out in nature and having my hands in the soil and really just getting out there and getting fresh air and getting sunlight, and, you know, also taking time for myself and having a nice fire and playing music as well, and just going out and socializing, whether it's going dancing or doing yoga. You know, there's a balance to everything. You know, it's not all about just the food as well. You know, we have to have, you know, learn to breathe and meditate. And I mean, for me, this all is a meditation, but I mean, it's a holistic lifestyle is what I'm saying. It's not just about the food, but food is a really big part of it. Like, I feel like getting the food in our diets will help us be the best version of ourselves. You know, we can work on our physical body, and then we can work on our spiritual body and work on the fruits of the spirit and being a better person and everything like that. But if I'm clogged up, if I'm unhealthy, if I'm sick on the physical level, how can I, you know, be of service to the world, you know, if I'm constantly having to, like, deal with that, you know? I got to be healthy and strong, and I go to training too. I go and lift weights. Hey, what's up, guys? We got some customers here.
Customers, hello.
We're doing a live video here. So.
Yeah, would you like to explain all the things that we have?
So we have tons of types of watermelons. Is that yours that you got?
Yeah.
Strawberry watermelon. There's a smaller one here. So you have strawberry watermelon, sugar baby, crimson sweet, moon and stars. They're all like heirloom melons.
What would you guys? What would you like?
I want a watermelon.
Watermelon.
Okay.
That's what I got.
Anything on the table is available. I also have this one available. That's a bigger strawberry.
Which one's gonna be sweeter?
This one's going to be the sweetest because it's the biggest. I think the bigger, the sweeter, in my opinion.
Okay. What are these?
These are elderberries. So you can make a tea or a syrup or a jam or something like that.
I seen the name on tea, but I didn't know
Yeah, elderberry is really good for you.
that's how it looked like.
Yeah, lots of antioxidants.
Like, can you eat that by itself?
Nah, it's better to process.
You can cook it.
Tea, syrup, jam. But these are autumn olives. They're like little berries. You can try one. They're more tart, tangy. They're great to mix in with like oatmeal, or if you make like a ice cream or nice cream. These are ground cherries. They're really sweet. Obviously tomatoes and beans and some zucchini and some cucumbers.
What are they doing there?
Yeah, pumpkins and butternut squash. You can see the clay. That is just like clay that I spray to keep the insects off.
Right.
That's non-toxic. These Asian pears are like extremely juicy.
Really?
Yeah, they're really
I'll
good.
probably do a watermelon.
Okay.
Some pears.
Well, pears and watermelon's
Tina
good.
is traveling, so we just came to support.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she can't have
You
nothing.
every week?
Every Friday, yep.
Every
12
Friday?
to 2.
Okay.
Or
Yep.
next time maybe.
Yeah, you can grab a melon, whatever you want, or I can get it for you. Just pick it out.